Apple is coming to India, Karnataka in particular. One of the world's leading tech companies has decided to manufacture iPhones in India, who is, of course, but Apple. Let's now go across to our special guest, our newsmaker of the evening, Amitabh Kant, the CEO of NITI Aayog. Thanks very much, sir, for joining us. It's, of course, since Make in India was launched in September 2014, this would have perhaps, wouldn't be wrong to say that, figure as one of the big successes of the campaign?
Natasha, we've seen about $60 billion. Our total FDI has really jumped up. It's not merely $66 billion, but in the last 2.5 years, it's grown by about 60% at a point of time when FDI across the world has fallen by 15%. But in the last 2 years, we've seen about 40 mobile manufacturing companies come to India and manufacture here. And the total investment in the mobile manufacturing has gone up from about 10,000 crores to about 1.25 lakh crores. And what we've tried to do is to create a manufacturing ecosystem where all the top companies can come in and manufacture.
Right.
And this demonstrates really in many ways the success of Make in India initiative of the Prime Minister.
Enough. Right. We have, of course, also said in that, we were told after that meeting between Tim Cook and Prime Minister Modi, one of the things that India put down was that 30% of their components should be made in India. We're not sure what the status on that, of course, is yet, because this is largely an assembly unit, sir. But to all those who say that we don't have the technology or the skill to make these quality components, how would you respond? Are we working on getting these kind of skills together?
No, Natasha, it's important to understand that, when manufacturing of this nature takes place, you are an integral part of the global supply chain. Products are designed somewhere, innovated somewhere else. Some parts come from somewhere else. They are manufactured somewhere, assembled somewhere, and then they are exported out. So India necessarily has to be an integral part of the supply chain. And as we go along, you need to build that manufacturing ecosystem where all the suppliers are put together here, as it happened in the case of Maruti car many years back. So you need to create that ecosystem where all the components will get manufactured over a period of time. The chargers will get manufactured, the covers will get manufactured, the boards will get manufactured, everything will get manufactured over a period of time. But right now we have to create that ecosystem for that. And, actually Apple already does a lot of work in India.
Right.
It does the mapping facility in India and Hyderabad, where it employs 4,000 people. Apple actually sells about 2.5 lakh mobiles in India. It sells over 200 million mobiles across the world. It sells only 2.5 million in India. So our objective is that they should manufacture for domestic market, but also export from India. So we are trying to create the best possible ecosystem for manufacturing.
Right. What are the kind of concessions? So that's the other thing that perhaps people are keen on knowing. What are the kind of concessions that Apple has perhaps got to set it up? They were, of course, also, among other things, asking for a 15-year tax holiday on those imports.
No, what they've asked for is basically that exactly the same conditions under which they manufacture in other parts of the world. They should be given that same, kind of ecosystem here. Now, those issues are being discussed and examined in Government of India across several ministries. Our objective is to facilitate, to act as a catalyst, to ensure that we are able to enable them to be aware, to do globalized manufacturing here. Right. So we will do our best to assist and create that manufacturing ecosystem here.
Right. Our sources, of course, have told us that there are, of course, niggling issues that need to be resolved. The point, of course, that you're making, that those will keep happening. For the moment, they're setting up this assembly unit. On a completely different note, before we let you go, sir, this past week, President Trump's crackdown on those visas has left many in India's IT industry and techies worried. How do you see this story playing out? How much of a blow do you see this is going to be for India?
Natasha, my belief is that, globalization is important, and all America has grown on the back of globalization. Absolutely. All countries Japan, Korea, China all grew on the back of globalization. America has been an advocate of globalization all along. Indian software experts, Indian services experts have added great value to America. They've actually gone, and many of them have contributed very significantly to Silicon Valley. And I think the government of India will work very closely with the American government to convince them that actually these Indians have contributed to America's growth, its wealth creation, its GDP creation. So I think we'll work very closely with the American government on this.
Right. There's, of course, a NASSCOM delegation, we're told, with top from India's IT companies who are going to be in America later this month. Amitabh Kant, thanks very much for your time this evening. Well, it's a wrap then on Left, Right and Centre. Thanks so much for watching. Keep your thoughts coming in. It's Walk the Talk up next.